Halo Helldivers ODST collaboration. This is actually very interesting. Not a Halo guy, not into that game. I know those of you who are into Xbox, this is your thing. You know, you tell me all the time how Halo is the best thing, and I'm like, well, good for you, brother and sister. Enjoy. But here I am looking at PlayStation and Xbox collaborating to make money. The gaming landscape is a landscape of collaboration right now. Everyone is going to have to work together to get themselves out of this mess that they've put themselves in. Bloated budgets, big, massive expansion without having the product to show for it and the quality. And even for a game where PlayStation wanted to lord over everybody that you must be in the PlayStation pipeline to play our game. Get a PlayStation account. They learned a very solid lesson in what it looks like to be pro-consumer. Ain't it crazy? PlayStation looked around and said, man, the only way we can make any way forward in live service, efforts is to be pro-consumer. Wow. And they did it. I am elated for them that they finally got some sense in their brains and decided we're going to get this game to where people are. Why did people not go ahead and, rush into the stores and buy PS consoles to play one Helldivers game? Why did they not bank on their own audience? Because now what's happened is these two platforms, Xbox and PlayStation, have basically been almost overrun by the third-party games. The only reason I said almost is because Xbox is part of the agency overrunning its own self with its own games, which will be Call of Duty, Minecraft, and all those other games. So is it an overrunning? No, it's not. But on PlayStation's platform, it is definitely an owning, not just an overrunning, an owning of that platform, using it as its own vehicle to drive forward its profits and to drive forward its revenue sources. This is it right here, ladies and gentlemen. So what is PlayStation to do? They are behind in their live service efforts. They are behind in content delivery. They are behind in an ecosystem that allows to acquire more users with heavy convenience without having to go buy some box. They're behind. Just go. It is what it is. I'm not saying this because some people are going to be like, oh, you always talk negative about PlayStation. It is the reality. I've been saying it since 2 years. These guys needed to open a PC store. They need to get themselves out there where there are gamers who are not interested in buying the box. But none of you would listen. You act like I don't have a PlayStation. You act like I don't play on PlayStation. You act like I don't know the ecosystem. But I know it just as well as you. My PS Plus is still even active right now. The one I went ahead and renewed for the Division 2. And so in your brains, you've sat down with commentators and podcasters that lick the boots of the corporate PlayStation without seeing the picture that was at hand. And here you are, your favorite PlayStation games come out, they get bodied into oblivion by freaking NBA 2K. Did y'all see that little tweet the other day where that guy spent $32,000 on 2K? 32 grand. That's where your exclusives went. Do you know how many copies of an exclusive that is from one person? Not saying that person is actually the typical microtransactions and live service player. But there is a huge collective, apparently. And one person told me in the comment section, I blocked them though, said to me, he said, this list over here, the weekly engagement tracker, doesn't mean that this equates to sales. It was a way for them to cope. I used the word, yes, I did use the word cope. To cope with the denial of reality that they had engaged in. Okay? Pretend all you want. Like these people are not spending money on live service games. Keep pretending. PlayStation's not pretending. It's y'all that are pretending. PlayStation understands that we can rope in Halo players. Do you know what they're doing? We can rope in Halo players that are on Xbox into our new live service game that we're bringing to Xbox. That's why this collaboration is here. To all those that said, why would PlayStation care about Xbox? This is why. There is money to be made from a collaborative effort. Should PlayStation try to navigate these paths itself without partnering up at least with some and gaining some friends along the way? Because this Xbox leadership is quite friendly. They're nice. Should another team come in and be more cutthroat and understand the assignment, they will gut PlayStation. Don't even be fooled about it. But this is a nice group. They have Microsoft's money backing them up. This is the group you want to be friends with. But PlayStation was playing a really, really weird game just a while back. Y'all remember, right? This is the same PlayStation that wanted to go ahead and money had Starfield to be a timed exclusive and possibly block Xbox. Phil's a nice guy. That's the one thing that they have. And I'm sure a lot of Xbox gamers, y'all are being like, man, this is so annoying. But not only is Phil a nice guy, Phil is a guy that understands that it didn't matter what it is that they were doing. They were eventually going to find themselves in this place. So what did he do? He circumvented the entire paradigm. It's been circumvented. This whole talk about, oh, where are my exclusives? You can play these exclusives on an Xbox. Do you really want to go ahead and now let's go ahead and take a look. Let's catalog these PlayStation exclusives and let's see how they all play on a Steam Deck. Okay? And then we're going to compare them to the next Xbox console, which is the Xbox Ally X. Are you ready? Do you want us to walk through it? Let's go ahead and start with the big one, Spider-Man, right? It plays on a GTX 1060. Spider-Man 2018. If you've not played it at this point in time, I wonder what you've been waiting for. Well, I understand you have to buy yourself you have to build yourself a PC to play it, right? You can play it on a 1060, GTX 950, RX 470. You can play it. Look at it. That's the minimum requirements. The next Xbox will be able to play this game comfortably. No problem. Okay? Which other game are you looking at? I mean, is there a game that you're really dying for? There isn't, but which game? You can play them. Is it the third-party money-hatted ones like Stellar Blade, right? Or what you call second party? What hardware would you need to play it? Let's look. Let's see. It says a GTX 1060. You should be able to play it on there. Is this Steam Deck verified? It is verified on a Steam Deck with compatibility. The Xbox Ally should be able to comfortably and conveniently play this game for you. You want to play it on the TV? Dock it. You can play it. That's the thing. It no longer requires that you have a PlayStation to play these 24 games. And these 24 games are even going to be backlogged for you. You won't even have time to play them. You got to play Ninja Gaiden. It's a new game. Ghost of Tsushima is great. It's a great game. But Ninja Gaiden is a new great game. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to go ahead and put Ninja Gaiden down and then play Ghost of Tsushima at this point in time? Nah, it's a 2019 game. Wonderful. I'll see you in the backlog. That's basically how it's going to go. And this whole talk about this has not only been circumvented, but it's not been circumvented into irrelevance. Because the so-called shine and luster that these games had has basically been washed by an aging population who loved these games 10, 12, 13, 14, 15 years ago, but are now in a different phase of their lives where they don't necessarily have all the time in the world. Not only that, the entire number of game releases has become insane. Where are you even going to find time to play these games? Bro, I get a summer off, and this summer, I barely could finish a game. Last summer, I finished Jedi Survivor. I was like, woo, finally. And I was still doing some other projects. This summer was insane. I could not finish jack squat because I'm still busy. Not going to leave life and leave family and go be playing every game out there. I'll play the games I'm interested in. I'll play the games that are available to me. I'll play the games that are convenient to me, just like you. It is not to sit down on a podcast and make it sound like this is a whole different thing. Sure, if gaming's your job, if it's your primary whatever that you do, wonderful. But I got a life too that is away from the controller and away from the microphone. And so with this changing landscape, these third-party companies understood the assignment and they subverted all of that nonsense console war trash. And now the console war is not just dead, but it's double dead as these collaborators, PlayStation and Xbox, say it with me, collaborators, PlayStation and Xbox, are over here trying to mutually benefit from one another and make money. Another PlayStation Studios game on Xbox. Why? Because money is necessary and money is involved. No amount of console sales will walk you through the fact that live service games have overtaken your platform. No amount of console sales is going to do that. If you're making games, you can find ways to sell consoles. You can give them away for free. That would probably make you more money at this point. But to say console sales is going to do it, it never has been doing it, especially when you make games. Especially when you look at a game like MLB The Show. MLB The Show, one of its most successful titles was 2021. And the reason it was successful is because it went to Xbox. Look at it. Right here. When Berkshire Hathaway was celebrating that this game had sold 2 million units, it was also celebrating that the PlayStation had sold 10 million units. So within both PlayStation and Xbox, 2+ million units have been sold, while PlayStation was boasting 10 million consoles. That was already your indicator. All the way back in 2021, we already saw it. That these exclusives were going to put PlayStation in trouble if it did not run away from exclusivity. I know many still claim that MLB wanted MLB The Show to be on Xbox, but I don't necessarily think that the PlayStation was healthy enough if MLB didn't even want it to allow for this game to surpass its numbers that it had already been doing in the past. Let's just say MLB did not want this game on Xbox. Let's just say the game did not get a Game Pass deal. Its sales would have been under 2 million copies. Or at least max 2 million copies of a 10 million copies sold console for a new exclusive. The numbers have always been really weird and abysmal. All that while, we should have seen everything going on. So again, this is why both are collaborating to make money, because all this so-called trying to knock the other person, it's insane. That Sony ever thought that one way or the other was going to knock $1 trillion company's video gaming baby out of the market was just a very weird notion. And when I keep saying that, I don't mean that in a facetious way, like, oh, that they wanted to knock them out of the... No. I mean it in the sense that when we look at, say, something like Crimson Desert, the game, right? Where PlayStation approached the developers, according to the developers' reports, and they wanted to block the game from going to Xbox. That practice is what I'm talking about. So no longer should they be wasting their money doing this. They should be finding ways to bring their live service games to Xbox and grow their platforms and their ecosystems. This way, you don't have a stale, hegemony that only takes over the entirety of the gaming space. This way, there's risk. This way, they can manage, they can make money and make fun, weird, quirky games that you and I might like. That's why they're collaborating, not because of the fanboy wars on the freaking Twitter. That's nonsense. That's childishness. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.